Getty top of their game. The Apprentice has rocketed back onto our screens after constant politics and as well as the Tory conference. The Apprentice was back. Hurrah, we never tire of watching big-headed Burkes crash and burn in the BBC boardroom. Yet bizarrely, the contestants never seemed to have watched the show before. They make the same clueless cock-ups every year. For example, when flogging burgers to the public, it doesn't take a business brainiac to realize that you should set up before dinner time, in a busy location, and knock 'em out at a competitive price. They'd have shifted more meat at a vegan rally. Gary Bushell, yet Danny Grant led men's team Vitality to a 114 pounds loss. Likeable Danny Bravelet humbly volunteered to be project manager but was never on top of the task. Pricing was not his business. He plucked numbers from the air. He was talked into setting up his stall in a deserted Brixton backwater. The team started late. They'd have shifted more meat at a vegan rally. NC stalled. Apprentice contestants had trouble selling meat in Brixton. Danny's biggest mistake was making Charles his sub-team leader. The mutinous dog ignored instructions and seemed to be running on Brexit time. Any slower and he'd have gone into reverse. Danny also took Elliot the barrister into the boardroom. Great call, mate. Barristers are notoriously tongue-tied. Danny went and Charles survived by the seat of his pants to fail another day. We take a look at the hottest Apprentice candidates to appear on the show. Good. The real appeal of Sugar's show is hubris and humiliation, not business acumen. Which doesn't augur well for Jeff, who promised to throw people under buses, over buses, and then to drive the bus. Well, it'll make a change from leaving in a taxi. Harrison is so full of himself I'm rooting for him to make the interviews, just to see him torn apart by Sugar's jackals. The women called themselves graphene, a substance as hard and light as Claude Littner's heart. Siobhan makes Middle East despots seem easygoing. Getty misfits. Alan Sugar's latest batch of business wannabes are all over the place. Scary Liz is a proper clock stopper. While Michaela is smarter than she looks but appears to be wearing Deirdre Barlow's glasses. Her lenses are so strong she can probably watch the ISS in orbit. Half the candidates wear bins. It's like watching outtakes from a Specsavers ad. The 17 remaining contestants aren't Britain's brightest business brains. They're a motley crew of PR twerps, florists and wannabes. Most of them couldn't be trusted to sell bikinis in Barbados. That's why we love it. Slippery C was reduced to a pathetic wretch of man on Dr. Foster. His first attempt to top himself was the feeblest roadside suicide bid since Ian Beale's. Then Gemma left him a handy death kit. So much for the Hippocratic Oath. He got to live, but only because the BBC don't want to kill off the series. Why would they? It's one of our most talked about shows, even if some of us were saying what a cop-out and asking how skint Carlos Sai got about so quickly, or how the head of a busy GP practice had so much free time. While Gemma went back to save him, son Tom did a runner from both of them. Getty. Carlos. Dr. Foster has reduced Simon to a mess. What took the poor kid so long? It's hard to work out why anyone was supposed to like either of these two creeps. In this series, Simon lost his cockiness and Gemma her marbles. Writer Mike Bartlett was always in her corner and tried and failed to make us feel for the loopy bint again. Now C lives to cheat another day. Gemma's new neighbor looked pretty hot. And after she knocked up chicken pasta from scratch in under 2 minutes, Serene Jones must be a shoo-in for Celebrity MasterChef. Larry David began the new series of Curb Your Enthusiasm in a shower wrestling with a stubborn bottle of gel. He ended the show in the same shower getting chinned by his manager's missus. Head had a lucky escape. In the course of one episode, he upset 2 lesbians, had Amola slap a bounty on his head just for writing Fatwa, the musical, and learned all about the gentle art of foisting. Curb thrives on the comic consequences of petty grievances, as Larry negotiates the minefield of modern morality. Should a bloke hold a door open for a butch lesbian, for example? Will she be more annoyed if you do or if you don't? And when she tells you she's getting married but that she, rather than her femme fiancée, will be the bride? Isn't diplomatic silence more appropriate than arguing the point? Larry can't help himself. He cheeses off more people than Pat Phelan, busting PC debuts with glee, but always suffers for it. Related articles.